This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, now we bring you a discussion on rural sanitation and Swachh Bharat. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Arya Madan Mohan, journalist.
Mr. Tandon, we've been hearing some interesting tweets from the WHO report. I think yesterday it came out to say that the Swachh Bharat mission has cumulatively saved almost 1.82 lakh lives. It's reduced 1.82 lakh deaths since 2014. So this is a huge number. What is the Swachh Bharat mission and how do you think it's panning out?
See, when Prime Minister Modi came to power in 2014, he launched this Swachh Bharat mission. India in the last 70 years did require something like that because our image abroad all over the world was that we had perhaps one of the poorest record in sanitation. So having launched that program, it became almost like a people's movement. And if I can recall Prime Minister's message at that time, that Gandhiji, when he launched the Quit India movement, it was successful because it became a people's movement. And Prime Minister Modi wanted the Swachh Bharat mission also to become a people's movement. And since then, you have very rightly said that the WHO has recognized that now the rural sanitation coverage has reached over 89% in the country from 39% when it was launched. So tremendous strides in that. And in fact, 19 states and union territories have become open defecation free, which is remarkable. Even an average Indian perhaps could not conceive that this could be a result in 4 years. But the fact remains that so far 8 crore toilets have been constructed under this program, and the government has set a target of 100% sanitation coverage and ODF in India by October 2nd next year. And the best part of the whole campaign is that it has become a mass movement, and many celebrities are also joining as the ambassadors for this movement. So I think Prime Minister himself has tweeted today, has said that the feeling of ownership among 125 crore Indians toward the Swachh Bharat mission has led the India to making remarkable progress in cleanliness and sanitation. So you were very right in the beginning when you said that WHO is recognizing it, because when the WHO recognizes it, the whole world knows about what is happening in India. And the Prime Minister also said, in fact, he shared a letter of a citizen from Saharanpur on Twitter this morning, and that person has expressed support for the Swachh Bharat mission and has urged all of us to support it. PM also shared a letter from a student who shared his experiences from a family holiday in Ladakh in the Man Ki Baat program. So PM Modi had asked students to visit various places of India during vacation and share their experiences. Yesterday, PM Modi had expressed happiness at the World Health Organization, as you have also said, for accelerating sanitation coverage in India. So therefore, I think it's a real fitting tribute when PM says that observation by the WHO in a study on India's stride in cleanliness and sanitation are fascinating.
Absolutely. In fact, when I was researching for this, it came up that last year in 2017, there were evidently something like 500 million people who were still defecating in the open in our country. It's really inexplicable. It's terrible. It's an awful statistic. So anything in this direction which is being done now successfully, as opposed to perhaps the campaigns in the past which have not been successful. I think there was a campaign before the Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan in 2012, and it was preceded by the Total Sanitation campaign. All these, there was a research done which said that they had some improvement in rural latrine creation, but no effective effect on child benefit. And I think this was a survey, limited survey indeed, done in Madhya Pradesh. So this is a great movement. But this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is not just restricted to open defecation, is it? It also includes other things like municipal sanitation, the solid waste disposal, collection, recycling, all that.
And also people's involvement in it. See, unless people are aware that it is their duty to have cleanliness And otherwise, that's why these schemes have not succeeded in the past, because the awareness was lacking.
And behavioral change.
Yes. And that is a remarkable thing. One reason I would say, and if I can say again, that when the Prime Minister for the first time said it from the ramparts of the Red Fort, the fact remains when the leader of the country, he takes it as a major initiative and then tries to convert, repeatedly emphasizing on it, and then converts it into a mass movement. Today, the picture like toilets, Prem Katha, it was a remarkable thing, because in India, cinema has a great influence on the society, and we were wondering whether such things do exist in rural areas, but the fact remains things were there like that. So the awareness campaign, Prime Minister's repeated emphasis on Swachh Bharat, as you said, it is not only toilets, but it is overall approach to our society, and we have also linked it with the health and sanitation. If we remain clean and our environment is clean, then we save a lot of lives, because of the many people, children die of diarrhea because of all these factors. So I think this campaign on Swachh Bharat and sanitation, putting it on the world map that India is now focusing on it, I think it has got recognition from WHO, because WHO can only guide us, advise us, give us new funds, but we have to do it in India. So, in fact, there is a survey going on from August 1st, which is Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin. Of course, it is the rural sanitation survey.
Because there are two parts. One is the urban and the other one is the rural.
Maybe that we do need in urban areas as well. But the fact remains our rural area was really, really lacking in all these things.
Yes.
So, therefore, PM has also urged people to participate in the largest rural sanitation survey, and saying that the feedback will help create a cleaner India. So, this survey which is going on it will go on till August 31st. I think it will be an extensive effort that will give both strength and crucial feedback to the nation's efforts of creating a Swachh Bharat. So therefore, PM said that he invites all of us to take part in the survey.
Right.
And survey basically will rank districts based on their sanitation level. And again, I will say, constant hammering, continuous approach, not that you said made a slogan and left it to that. So continuous approach on sanitation, Swachh Bharat, rural, urban sanitation, that has made it a mass movement. And I think if you ask people, 9 out of 10 people will say yes, they are participating in it, because they have realized the importance of cleanliness. That is the real secret behind the success of this program. And we do hope, because I still feel we have a long way to go to achieve 100% success in India. And that cannot be done without participation of the people, their awareness, creating awareness among other people, children in schools, etc. I think it is one of the best campaigns which could be launched by any government. And it is succeeding, and I do hope that we will all be making it a success.
So I think, in fact, there were around 3 million volunteers across India, both government employees and kids from schools, students from colleges, and they've all kind of taken ownership of this program, which is why, as you said, under Prime Minister's direction, it has become a mass movement and a successful one. I was just going to say that the various activities also, which I didn't actually realize, it is broader than I realized. So the Public Works Department is been disposing waste from government offices, and this is also part of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The Ministry of Railways has been cleaning on demand, clean bedrolls from automatic laundries, bio-toilets, dustbins in all AC coaches. The government, in its Digital India program, along with the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, has got installed solar-powered trash cans, which will actually alert the cleaning authorities once they are full. So this is absolutely amazing, really, considering where we were 4 years ago and now where we are today.
Yeah, I would again highlight one thing, that coming to the urban Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the resident welfare associations have come forward. They are also owning it up. And, you can see changes in our own localities, the parks, the welfare associations have put up dustbins, and then campaigns are going on. So we do feel a lot of change, because earlier, all said and done, we may have a lot of things to say about the Indian rural area, but in urban areas also, cleanliness, and this was not a campaign. People were throwing litter on the road, and even educated people were thinking, well, with my throwing litter on the road is not going to make a lot of difference. But now we see even children educating their parents.
Yes.
And so there is, I think, perceptible change in the behavior of people of India, both in rural as well as in urban. But the fact remains that in rural areas, a lot of needs to be done from the government side, because you need funds for that. The rural area was lacking all this in sanitation because there were no funds with the panchayat. Now a lot of funds are being provided to the panchayats from the states as well as the center, and therefore it is picking up. The number of toilets which are built up, we have all seen. There is one problem which many rural areas are facing in this context is the shortage of water, because the toilets need water. So therefore water conservation also is now associated with that. Unless you have enough water, you can't maintain those toilets. So all these things are now being, considered and taken up as a very serious subject. So media also is joining in this campaign. See, a remarkable thing. Most of the media, they are participating in this campaign in their own way, and that is also making a lot of difference. So people at large are now joining this campaign, and you hope that we will succeed and make it 100% success.
I think when you mentioned about the rural areas and the water, another offshoot of this program is the plastic waste, because plastic is a huge contaminant in our cities as well, mainly in the cities but also in rural areas now. And now you can see increasingly the government beginning to ban plastic bags for biodegradable alternatives, and that's a great thing.
In fact, in urban areas, people are coming forward requesting citizens not to use plastic bags. So, as I said, any campaign can succeed only if it becomes a mass movement, becomes a people's movement. And therefore, plastic bag, other things, a lot of efforts were being made earlier also. But you need to make it a mass movement. Very rightly, plastic is one of the nuisance which is there. A lot of other things, apart from solid waste management and disposal of, day-to-day stuff, etc., still we need to a lot more, and therefore this campaign should continue with the same vigor as it is, because if we start decelerating it, then perhaps things may go back to the original one. So we have to go forward. We don't have to let things settle here. And for that, we do need constant hammering on the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
So in fact, Mr. Tandon, the details I understand were that the total cost of this was going to be around $30 billion. And I understand India has taken a loan from the World Bank of about 11 billion or so. And there is a huge degree of money going into this, consciousness. Just briefly, what do you feel are the main key elements of the behavioral change? Because as you said, next year, October 2nd, 2019, is Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. So that is a very key date when we have to move, as the Prime Minister said, from Satyagrah to Swachh. So he's mentioned that particular sentence, phrase. So what do we need to do to really embed this behaviorally? You hear the radio advertisements on making fun of people who are taking a glass of water and going into the fields to do their morning job. Do we need to continue like this, or does there actually have to be penalties for this sort of thing?
I think in the beginning we should make it a public campaign, awareness campaign, which is working. So I don't think at this stage we should be thinking of punitive action, because the problem which has been there over ages, we need to educate people about awareness. And then there are social stigmas attached with that. Many people in rural areas don't believe that there should be a toilet in the vicinity of their residence. So if we start punitive action, there may be a reaction.
Resistance.
So unless the people are themselves conscious about it, they have to be convinced about it, then only things will improve. So therefore, I think there should be more films like that on sanitation, and because film is a very, very effective instrument, and of course radio, Doordarshan, they are doing their job. Even private television channels are participating in. Many celebrities have come forward to become an ambassador. So therefore, I think it's not time to talk about punitive action or fines, but we should continuously make it a people's campaign, hammer it every day, constantly, like the Prime Minister is doing. He is not missing any opportunity to remind the people that there is a Swachh Bharat.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You were listening to a discussion on rural sanitation and Swachh Bharat. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Arya Mohan, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website newsonair.nic.in.